Okay, here we go. Now we'll start the recording in Zoom.
Recording in progress.
There we go, and we're still good here. And now we are going to play the intro.
Welcome to Broadcast Map, the show that covers the world of broadcasting, the Canadian media landscape, sports media, the show's favorite sports teams, as well as news and politics. Here's your host, Ali Musa.
And good evening on Tuesday, August the 19th, 2025. Well, Pierre Poilievre has won the by-election in Alberta. I believe it's Battle Kerfoot something, whatever the riding is called. But he has won that, so he has a seat now in Parliament. And who better to talk about this than Paul Daniel? Paul, I want to welcome you back to the show. I really appreciate you taking some time tonight.
Hey, Al, it's always good to be here. Always good to be here talking to you. Pleasure.
Yes, absolutely. So Pierre Poilievre won that riding by a landslide. Are you surprised?
Not really. For the record, just so we both know, it's Battle River Crowfoot. That's the riding name. Okay. Battle River Crowfoot. There you go. So don't want to offend anybody in that area.
No.
Am I surprised? Not really. It's the safest seat in Canada for the Tories. It would have been an enormous shock of epic proportions had he lost. The fact that he won with between 80 to 82% of the vote is pretty substantial, and he won, and it happens that that leaders lose their seats while the party does very well. Happened to Don Getty one time when he was premier of Alberta. His party won a majority, and he lost his seat. I think sometime in the late '80s, and that happened. But he found his seat somewhere else, and a by-election was called, and he still assumed his role. So this was an unfortunate situation for Mr. Poilievre in terms of losing his Ottawa seat in the federal campaign in April. But this is no surprise, really, that he won with over 40,000 votes. Were you surprised?
Me personally, I can't say that I am. I was actually because I mean because the thing is he's a fighter.
Yep.
And the thing here also would have been is that, and when he wants to get it done, he's going to get it. He wants to get it done. His ultimate goal is that he really wants to be Prime Minister.
Yeah, well, if you're leader of a party, that's your goal. That's your goal. You got to have that as the main goal.
Yep.
If you're, and no surprise there. And he took a step forward, and he'll be back in the House of Commons. I think, however, the big challenge he faces, though, because he's still not exactly out of the woods. He has a leadership review in January. Leadership reviews can be pro forma, but you never know. Again, I'm not suggesting in any way that he's going to lose his leadership. You can never tell if someone's going to pop up and say, maybe we can, someone's going to ask questions, someone's going to raise a point. But I don't see Mr. Poilievre losing his leadership, in the leadership convention. But
what's the reason for that?
Leadership conventions have a drama of their own, so you never know. One person can make some noise at a leadership, not leadership. Pardon me, leadership review. Not a leadership convention, a leadership review, and they have a drama all their own. And conventions, people start, small factions in a party can start making some noise about an issue that they're not satisfied with, or that they feel is not being properly being dealt with by the leader, or being raised by the leader enough. It can be any number of things, and so political conventions. I've been to a few of them myself. Can have their own drama, and anything can happen. I'm not suggesting that in any way that he's going to lose his leadership. I think he's rather secure. I think no one's really there've been very few murmurings of anybody saying, "Oh, we could do better. We can get somebody else." I think they were disappointed that he lost his seat, but he can point to the obvious fact that the Tories did very well in the federal campaign. They got 144 seats.
But I mean, okay, but let's say even if now it's safe to now there's even there's even a rumor out there that that he could end up there's a rumor that he could be prime minister by Christmas. There's that rumor. I mean, anything can really happen.
Let me ask you a question. How would that happen? I could be prime minister by Christmas. How that? I mean, I've not heard that rumor. Well, get any more detail about that?
I don't have any details right now personally on that, but I did. There is that. I saw that today, and as I was looking through my stuff today, that there's actually going that it could happen. I mean, I don't know. I don't feel it can, but I don't know.
I don't think it's very likely to happen. I don't think Canadians are in the mood for an election right now. Canadians seem to be quite fairly content with Mr. Carney. Uh, they made a choice last spring. I think that's the one challenge I think Mr. Poilievre will have to face now that he's back in the House of Commons. Does he want to be the same guy as he was before? Uh, Hardworking, one of the hardest working MPs. He's recognized by a lot of people as a hardworking MP. But can he be? Does he have to be the same kind of take no prisoners attitude? I think that kind of tough-spirited populism that he had during the campaign or the past 2 years, when Justin Trudeau was still prime minister, it served him in terms of him getting very popular, and that he had 25% lead in the polls leading up to into 2025. But the fact that he lost that lead and the Liberals came within 2 seats of winning a majority, that's a question for his leadership. I don't think there's going to be. It's a very unlikely there'll be an election. It's very. I don't. I will put good money on the fact that Mr. Poilievre will not be prime minister by Christmas. I think this parliament can go. I think for 2 years. I think of 2 years, and I think people will want to see what Mr. Carney or what the Liberals will do with Mr. Trump and the ongoing tariffs.
Yeah. Now, if he, does his style, does Poilievre's style of politics need to change in a way? If does it have to soften if he truly wants to be prime minister?
I think the Globe Mill had a story today in the column, and the headline was, he can still be an attack dog, but he has to grow up. The idea that somehow his attacks sometimes seem to be petty and almost mean spirited. There's a great book that came out recently by Mark Bourret titled "Ripper: The Making of Pierre Poilievre," and that's been his style for his entire time in the House of Commons as a politician, his entire career, to be an attack dog, to attack a ripper as they call him. But there's nothing there about building anything, a weaver. It's a statement. Those are two phrases that came from a column by David Brooks in New York Times columnist in 2020, when he said that the country is being divided by politicians who are weavers, people who build things, and rippers. Politicians just simply want to destroy and tear apart. A Donald Trump type comes to mind, for example.
That's it.
But
Yeah, you know
someone
what's if it's
yeah,
on. I don't know if it's on Audible. If you can do some research into that. If it's on Audible, feel free to send the link. I'd love to read it.
well, the article is actually an article from New York Times columnist in 2020. It's not a book, but it's a column. But I
Oh,
think that
Ripper isn't a book.
the book is sorry. Pardon me. I thought you were referring to the column.
No, sorry, the
The
book.
book, the book, yeah, it is available in Audible. I do believe actually that the CELA has it available in accessible formats.
Okay, sounds
CELA
good.
has it available
So that's R I.
in
So that's
Canada.
W. That's RIPPER.
That's RIPP as in Jack the yeah, Ripper, RIPPER, The Making of Pierre Poilievre.
Sounds good. I'm gonna check that out now because I recently read Andrew Lawton's book, Pierre Poilievre: A Political Life.
Yeah, I think the thing his style has to change. Yeah, is that a good? Did you like it? So
I really did. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You recommend it?
I absolutely do.
Okay. Now then we both have books to add to our TBR pile.
Yes.
I think, but the question you asked is, does it still have to change? I think it does because let me put it this way: a year ago, had their election been held 1 year ago, he'd be prime minister. Okay, if the election had been held 1 year ago, Mr. Poilievre would be prime minister. In the fall of 2024, he'd be prime minister. Ironically, the man whose style he emulated, Mr. Trump, made it difficult. If Kamala Harris had won the election last year in the United States, the Liberals called an election in the spring in 2025, as they did, I think Mr. Poilievre would have won, regardless of who they have for a leader. I think Mr. Poilievre would have won. But because Mr. Trump's tariff wars, it put Mr. Poilievre in a horrible position. And I don't, and this is, I think, one mistake he made in his campaign. He couldn't pivot very well, and that was a problem.
Yeah.
Most because he didn't want to offend a lot of supporters in his party who are also big fans of Mr. Trump. And that's a tough spot for anyone to be in. Uh, I think that I think Mr. Poilievre's style has to change. That kind of people they voted last spring. They want less populism. They want more of this. They want a serious leader who's going who's not that Mr. Poilievre's not serious, but when you start his style, it doesn't exactly sound like statesman-like. And I think when you're dealing with Trump, someone like Mr. Trump, yeah, you have to. I think the low-key approach works better. And people have found so far, and the polls indicate so far that they're happy, that they're satisfied thus far with Mr. Carney's approach.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, but I think though, and I don't think people like. See, the thing is I don't. But here's the other thing. Do you feel though if he does become, or especially during, let's say during the Trump time, which you never know how long that will last, by the way.
Well, let's who knows? Well, let's assume it'll be for 4 years, maybe a few
Yes,
more years.
but let's say he. Do you feel that he would cave to Trump more in a lot of ways?
I don't know. I think Mr. Trump, I think, pardon, Mr. Poilievre, uh, to be perfectly honest, I think Mr. Carney is doing a lot of what Mr. Poilievre would probably do himself. I guess it's a matter of style because the options Mr. Carney has are not unlimited. He has limited options what he can do, and I think Mr. Poilievre or anybody in that position would have this be the same would be have the same scenario. He can only do so much, and in dealing with someone like Mr. Trump, who's we discussed in the last our last program, uh, was his he's he's erratic. He's erratic in the way he does things, especially with his tariffs, laying tariffs on anyone and everyone. One has to be mindful of that. And I think Mr. Carney's low key approach is working. Would Mr. Poilievre be any different? I don't think you can be the most leaders when they're opposition leaders usually change and become a little more statesmanlike, a little more low key when they're leaders of a country. You can't be that way.
No, no, most certainly not. And now also too, Elizabeth May is staying on as Green Party leader as well.
She's staying on until the next election. Until the next election, she'll be leaving. She said announced today that she won't be running as leader of the Green Party for the next election. Now, whether that means she's not going to run again, I'm not sure. But she's not going to be leader for the next election, which is a real spot because the Green Party only has one seat, and that's hers in the House of Commons. They've had a real problem, the party, mostly internal issues they've had to deal with, and it puts them in a bad spot. I mean, it's a tough spot for these guys. It's a tough situation for the Green Party because a lot of other parties, the NDP, the Liberals, the Conservatives, have sort of co-opted their issues, and the reason for the Green Party now has sort of been uh, uh, diminished in a way. And they've only had one real leader who has stood out, and that's Elizabeth May. Whether that, you know, the question of the Green Party has to decide is what do they stand for? Who can among the people can they choose who will lead them? Because right now the best they've ever done, I think, is 2 seats and federally. I don't know. It's a tough. Again, they're in a tough situation. And part of it is their own doing. They've had a lot of internal strife, and they've not handled themselves as a political party properly. They've been made really rather foolish mistakes in that respect.
Yeah, I mean the only one that really has done okay is Ontario Green Party leader Mike Schreiner.
He's hasn't been able to build his party very much, apart from I think he has there's 2 members now, him and someone else, which is still it's steady because for the Green Party that's pretty good. Schreiner has I think in Schreiner's case, uh, he has a great personality and a real likability. People have a real personal likability for Mr. Schreiner. So he hasn't been able to build up though. This last election was a snap election, or it came 1 year ahead of schedule. Although most people heard rumors about an early election as far back as last fall that there's going to be an early election. So it wasn't really how could it be a snap election if everyone knew about it. Makes you wonder. I Mr. Schreiner has is in a unique position, and he has a chance to build. He has a likability. He has a really good member working with him, whose name I am afraid escapes me. He can build. It's going to be hard though. He's fighting with the NDP right now. He's fighting with the Liberals. Stay relevant. And the Conservatives, let's be fair, have a very strong and impressive mandate. Give Mr. Ford that.
Oh yeah, yep. I mean, say what you want about Premier Doug Ford, but certainly he's done a really good job at
He's at being at, well. People of Ontario are satisfied with him. They're happy with
yes.
him. And you can't argue with that. He's won 3 consecutive elections, majority governments. I don't think that's a certain political success there.
Oh yeah, yep. I mean, say what you want about his policies,
Sure,
but
he's done something right. I mean,
yep,
as I say, he hasn't done anything to offend them. At a certain point in in politics and being premier or prime minister, as long as you don't tick off anybody, as long as make enough people angry with you, you don't make enough people angry with you, you'll do well. It's when you make too many enemies that you'll start facing some tough times ahead of you.
yep, yeah, and I think too that, and I mean, and I think it's something that Polyev I think has to sort of, I think he has to soften his tone.
I think so. It doesn't work anymore. It's like I said, as I say, people made it clear last spring they want less populism and they want a low key prime minister. Mr. Trudeau was very was I'm not a populist, but he was very much in everyone's business, in everyone's face, as it were. And and by nature of being a politician, he gets seen a lot. I think people just want to see someone doing their job and keep it low key. And Mr. Carney is a low key kind of a guy. It's not worse or better. It's just different. And I think there's a time and a place for every kind of leader. There's a time and a place for someone like a George H.W. Bush. There's a time and a place for a Barack Obama. It's all timing. People want certain kind of leaders at a certain kind of time. Mr. Polyev had his best shot, I think, so far, last last autumn, and it proceeded. And then once Mr. Trump came along and imposed his tariffs, I think that there were troubles that he just could not manage particularly well, far
No,
beyond his control in some ways.
yeah,
But I
exactly.
think
Yep,
he has to change. But I think a good point though. He has to soften his tone a little bit. Act like a grown up. He can't be these petty little moves he did sometimes during his uh during his uh, during his time as opposition leader before when under Mr. Trudeau. I think it has people want if he wants to have a real alternative, stop being angry all the time and show some. I think people want statesmen. They want statesmen as leaders, and I think being attacking it all the time is not necessarily a sign of leadership. It's just a sign of almost sounds desperate at times.
Yeah. And you know what else too? Like he certainly, I think he has to sort of go. These are our policies, and this is what we're sticking with. Not
Yeah,
continue to, because we haven't heard anything from him. All we've seen and heard are Carney this, Carney that, and he never said what are you going to do, what he's going to do differently.
he's in a, he has he's not he has to start doing that. Yes, and when that time comes, I'm not sure. Probably within the new year, perhaps. I suspect after the leadership review. I keep saying convention, leadership review. Uh, I think he'll start doing that. So it's not going to run a retread of the last election. Times will be different by then. I'm sure the party will be looking at that. What can we do different in the next campaign? And hopefully, again, Donald Trump will still be president. And if we're assuming correctly, 2 years, that'll be 2027, and that'll be Donald Trump's third year in a second term. He'll still be president, obviously. So the question is, how do we deal with that? Considering that, keeping in mind that Mr. Polyev, the Tory party, has many, many people who would like Donald Trump.
Oh
How does he
yeah,
stand up to
my.
Trump without without alienating those people? It's a tough balancing act.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's the thing, right? And I think that's like, see, well, and I mean, but that's the thing. And if you look at Trump, he really wants to look at himself as a hero. Like that's why he's going after this. Trying. That's why he met with Putin last week to try and, oh, I can end the war, and the war would never the war, the Russia and Ukraine war, and the war would never have happened if he was president. This that. It's not gonna, he got humiliated last week, and even now, I mean, he had Zelensky in there, and then I still don't think things are going his way.
Do you think he was humiliated last week with the meeting with Putin?
Yes,
Well, how do you think how do you think he was humiliated? I'm curious to hear your thought. How do you think he was humiliated?
because he couldn't carry himself. First of all, it was uh, it was Putin that did most of the speaking, and he couldn't even he couldn't Trump couldn't carry himself.
I think Mr. Trump got nothing out of it. Whatever. There have been reports that whatever he proposed, Putin said no. Now he's talking about trying to have Zelensky and Putin meet at the same time. I don't see that happening. I'm willing to be shown I'm wrong, but Putin does not want to deal with Zelensky. He wants a one-on-one meeting with Trump. That's basically about it. I don't think he wants to meet with Zelensky. It would be, and here's another question: is that what kind of a deal could possibly that Mr. Putin would agree with? Would sign put his name to? And are we to believe that somehow his signature alone would would mean anything? I don't think so. I think we're gonna need some. You're gonna need like a third party force to monitor these things. Like you'll need like a international set of troops from various countries, including Canada, to keep an eye to make sure that Russia is honoring a deal to if whatever the deal is honoring the deal, not trying to invade Ukraine again. I just don't see Putin signing a piece of paper and then honoring that. There's no
No,
indication he's going to do that kind of thing.
no, but the reality is Trump just wants to look. He just wants to look like a hero. That's his thing, and as a distraction to the whole Epstein file stuff. Because then
That
what he
could be it.
can do, because then what he's going to be able to do is go, hey, look, we can just get rid of these Epstein files. I ended the war in Ukraine. I ended the Russia-Ukraine war, so I'm the hero now.
I don't know. I don't know if the Epstein files have any bearing on this. I mean, I'm sure he's trying to think of any way to uh, distract people from talking about the Epstein files, especially among his own supporters who are so gung ho to find out what's happening. there might be there's an ongoing story right now. It's on the back burner. It's sort of gone to the back burner at the moment, considering with all the what's happening with Ukraine and Zelensky and Mr. Putin. I don't know. Maybe but then again, it's Donald Trump. You could be absolutely right, Ali. It might be absolutely right what he's doing. He's good at distraction. He's good at making say, look over there, squirrel. He's good at that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
He's a master at that kind of thing. He throws so much at you that I think people get distracted by this, and they can't focus on the more important issues.
Now, also too, you see, apparently there was also one of his people sent a letter to politicians in Western Canada that Canada would be better off again as the 51st state. It's like, come on.
This is more of the unnecessary. This is what I call it as a distraction, but also unnecessary impediment. You don't need this. I mean, are we to believe this? No one takes it seriously anymore. I mean, it's just become an annoyance to most people. It's unnecessary. It's ridiculous. It's never going to happen. And I think it's just a matter of people just making some noise to raise their profile.
Oh, Trump wants it to happen.
He may or may not want it to happen. I think I don't know what's inside his mind sometimes, most times. I He may actually think that. He may actually think that, but I don't think he actually believes it's ever going to happen in his lifetime or ever actually going to happen.
Yeah, there's no chance that's going to happen.
Not a chance. On that, Ellie, we agree completely. Not a chance.
No. At least not the way he wants it to.
Not the way he wants. Not the best we'll ever be as partners, as we were before, and hopefully one day we can, Canada and the United States can do that again. Be good trade partners as we were, be each other's ally. At the moment, it's just uh, emotions are fraught on both ends, and Canadians aren't too keen right now, based on the fact that they're not traveling to the United States. Travel is down considerably.
Yep.
Like, people are not buying as many products from the States, at least for now. I mean, people are offended, and they don't like what they see right now on the way the current administration is handling uh, foreign relations. And
But
you know,
how
and
long?
just
Like,
and again, picking a fight with us over unnecessary fight, the stupidest trade war
yep.
in history, as the
No, exactly.
uh, as the one of the newspapers in the States called it.
But when do you see, though, like, I think the elbows up, I think it has sort of diminished a bit, but when do you sort of see it kind of diminishing further?
I think if we see diminished further, if we don't see any results, if Mr. if Mr. Carney can't produce something like show a deal of some kind, Canadians have said they don't want just any deal. They want the best deal possible, not just any deal. They want the best deal possible. So I think that's the point there. Also, if the economy takes a real dive, I think people will tire of the elbows up approach, which is understandable. People can only be so gung ho for a while until they finally realize, they have to worry about other things. But I think the biggest thing is Mr. Carney has to show some results, has to show something soon.
Yeah, and that's certainly it. But I mean, but if you look at it, the economy isn't doing well anyway. I mean, the dollar, the Canadian dollar is much lower compared to the U.S.
Sure,
dollar. Like
sure.
what? Like I mean, it has to be a case now where sovereignty is only going to take the country so far.
True. That is very true. People, have bills to pay, and how long people can stand these high inflation, although it's going down slowly, it's going down. How long can and also, but now they're paying for tariff affected products. It's a matter of time. Again, it's a matter of how much people are willing to bear, and if the government can show some positive some progress in trade deals, in the economy. It's a matter of people are willing to wait. They've made it clear they're willing to be patient a little for now, but the government has to produce.
Yeah. Right. And the other reality sort of is too that like even and of course it is all related to the economy, but even skilled job, there aren't as many there aren't that many jobs around either. It's like something sort of has to be before people sort of clue in and go, well, it has to be more than sovereignty now.
Oh yeah, I think everyone realizes that the there are there are real challenges ahead. And no one's denying that in terms of Canada's new relationship or diminished relationship with the United States. But now they're going to try and do something that hasn't been done for a while, forging alliances with other countries in Europe, Mexico, all of which is possible and very doable, and it has potential. Again, but these things take time. Those things take time. The Again, the big challenge is if the economy maintains its relative stability at the moment. Mr. Carney might do, and Mr. Carney has time to continue to do what he does. But the Liberals have to produce. The government clearly have simply they have to get something done. They have to show some real progress. They have to show numbers getting better. People need to feel that the country's moving in the right direction. And again, it's still early days.
Yeah.
But he has some time to do it. But he has to do something.
So do you feel then that that part of that deal has to do with negotiating with Trump? Like, and
Well,
just
that goes without saying. We have to make a deal with Trump sometime, and if not this year, it'll probably be next year when the CUSMA, the Canadian U.S. Mexico deal, is being renewed or renegotiated. Pardon me, renegotiated. That could be a real challenge for Mr. Carney and even for the Mexicans as well. Mr. Trump is not going to be may not be in a very charitable mood either at that time.
no, and also the other side, he just keeps, but then he does. It seems he doesn't like Canada. It seems he's mad at Canada.
I don't know if it's mad at Canada. I mean, I've heard different stories of why he might feel the way he does about Canada. I don't think he does. I think he just looks upon it as a trade target. That's all. I don't think Mr. Trump has those kind of deep thoughts. I don't think he's a deep thinker.
No, yeah, well, yes. Well, in listener land, you can have a chat with Paul at P Daniel. Well, I can never remember. What's your X handle again?
P Daniel. That's P Daniel DANIEL 2553.
Yeah, we can strike up a conversation there, and certainly, and you can strike up a conversation with me as well. Always love to hear from you out there. And I'm actually back. We have a show scheduled here for Thursday, which will be August 21st. And Paul, you know who's coming up?
Who's that?
Do you remember Jenny Bouvard?
I do indeed.
Well, she will be coming up on Thursday to chat, and there will be an announcement going up about this to chat. We're going to chat all about broadcasting. So stay tuned for the conversation. Thank you so much, Paul, for joining us tonight.
Thanks, Al. It's always a pleasure.
Can't wait to do it again real soon.
You bet.
Thank you so much for listening and/or watching Broadcast Map. To learn more about the show, please visit broadcastmap.ca. While you're there, subscribe to the newsletter so you never miss an update. Besides, It's free. Enter your email address and hit subscribe right on the homepage.